Yeah, allow me also take this opportunity to welcome you back to this other session of ours. Yeah, the other time we are looking at a chlorophyll molecule, and I hope you are now well conversant, or you have got knowledge on how the structure of the chlorophyll molecule looks alike. Now, today we are going to look at the absorption spectrum of photosynthetic pigment and the action spectrum of photosynthesis. Those are our major areas of emphasis today. Now, when we talk about absorption spectrum, we are saying it is a graph of the relative absorption of different wavelength of light by a pigment. Yeah, so this statement is telling us that this is just a graph of relative absorption of different different wavelength of pigments like chlorophyll. In fact, when we talk about chlorophyll, you should be on the know. We have chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and the carotenoids. Those are the one we are going to deal with the absorption and the action spectrum. We are saying that absorption spectrum, it is measured by a machine called the spectrophotometer. Now, when you look at the action spectrum of photosynthesis, action, it simply means the effectiveness or an act upon something. So when we talk about action spectrum, is a graph of the effectiveness of different wavelength of light in stimulating the process of photosynthesis, or we are saying that a graph of the effectiveness of different wavelength of light in stimulating the photosynthetic process. So it is represented, or it represents the actual rate of photosynthesis in living cells. So let me hope that you have got the differences between absorption spectrum and the action spectrum. We say that absorption spectrum is the relative absorption of different wavelength. Then action spectrum is the effectiveness of different wavelength in stimulating the photosynthetic the photosynthetic process. Then from there, our focus today is going to be on these two main graphs. I hope you have been seeing these graphs in biology paper 2, in most cases paper 1, but now from today onwards, when you see such graph, I just want to see a smile on your face, because we are going to break them down today. Yeah. Now, absorption spectra of chlorophyll A, B, and the carotenoids, and the action spectrum of photosynthesis, the way you can see there. Now, when we look at our graph 1, let us call it that first graph. Let us call it graph 1, and the second one, let it be graph what? Graph 2, or graph A and B. So when we look at graph 1, when we look at graph 1, when we look at graph 1, I'm meaning this one. This is our graph 1, that one. We are seeing that we have got the wavelength, and here we have what we call the estimated absorption spectra percent. Then this side we have the rate of photosynthesis percent of rate at 670 nanometers. Then here, what we are calling the action spectrum of photosynthesis is represented by this line. Yeah, this one is the action The action spectrum. Then the absorption spectrum is this one down here. That is the absorption Absorption spectrum. You will see that these two are working in in a combination, the way you have seen it there. Now, when you look at graph 2, meaning this one. This is our graph Graph 2. We are saying that we have here we are having wavelength down there. We have absorbance or rate of photosynthesis. Then we are still having, now we have the absorption spectrum. We have the absorption spectrum, this one. This color in here is the absorption spectrum. Then down here we are having the action spectrum. Then in the middle, the so-called no man's land. That part in the middle called what? Called X. Without wasting time, let us go into details. Now, let us look at the observation. The first observation, we are seeing that the action spectrum photosynthesis corresponds closely to the absorption spectrum of chlorophyll A and B. The thing is here. We are saying that in this absorption, the action spectrum of chlorophyll A, B corresponds to the action spectrum photosynthesis corresponds closely to the absorption spectrum of chlorophyll A and B. There you can see here, they are almost closely. You get? And the explanation for that is that this indicates the most of wavelength of light absorbed by chlorophyll are used in photosynthesis. So this one indicates that most of the light which is absorbed by chlorophyll is used in photosynthesis. Then another observation we can see there is the non-correspondence. There is non-correspondence of action spectrum of photosynthesis with the absorption spectrum at point marked X. There is a no man's land between this absorption spectrum and the action spectrum, and that part is marked what? Marked X. Then what is the explanation for that? The explanation is that this is because at X there is maximum absorption by carotenoids. So where there is X, that means the light which is there is absorbed by carotenoids, not chlorophyll A or chlorophyll what? Chlorophyll B. And they are saying that at X there is maximum absorption by carotenoids which are not used in photosynthesis. So the light which is used, which is absorbed there, it is majorly not used in what? It is not majorly used in photosynthesis. Then let us go to another observation. We are saying that the wavelength of about 550 nanometers to 620 nanometers have the lowest absorption and the action spectrum around here. Around here, around this part, you can see around here we are saying that around the 550 nanometers to 620 nanometers have the lowest absorption and the action spectrum for all the photosynthetic the photosynthetic pigment. Now the explanation for this, that the unabsorbed, in bracket what we call the reflected light, appears green, thus making chlorophyll, the chloroplasts and the leaves that contain it appear green to our eyes. There is somebody who has asked me a certain question some time back. That it is actually, if I'm to remember, it was Kasim asked me a certain question. He asked me around 3 questions, but today I'm going to answer one question, which was, why do plant leaves have green color yet blue is the most absorbed color? Now here, one of the answers is that plants appear green because they reflect green light, not because they absorb it. That's one answer. Then 2, it can also be a combination of factors like reflection and the absorption of light. Then the third one, we are saying that green light reflection, it can also be due to green light reflection, where chlorophyll does not absorb green light of wavelength between or around 6 650 nanometers to 750 nanometers. But the answer there, it is due to reflection and absorption. Yeah, I hope I've answered that one very well and I've cleared it out. So I'm left with only 2 questions which I'm going to answer as we proceed. Then the other observation, we are saying that there are 2 absorption maxima of we are saying that there are 2 absorption maximum rate, where we are saying that we have the 430 and the other one is 620 nanometers for chlorophyll A. So chlorophyll A reaches its maximum at 430 and 662 nanometers. Then chlorophyll B, it is between 453 and 642 nanometers, but only one maximum for carotenoids at about 500, at about 500 what? 510 nanometers. There, the absorption of carotenoids goes to the maximum. So the reason is that this shows that chlorophyll A as well as B are the main photosynthetic what? Photosynthetic pigment. However, photosynthesis also occurs in the middle part of the light spectrum, where carotenoids are what? Are active. That middle part where you see X there. Yeah, then another observation is that the action spectrum peaks within the blue, violet and the red regions of the light spectrum. Then explanation for that, this shows that maximum photosynthesis occurs in red part and the blue part of the visible what? Of the visible light spectrum. So those are some of our observations there and their following explanation. So this is what I've been talking about there. Yeah, like the action spectrum peaks within the blue, violet and the red regions of the light spectrum. This shows that maximum photosynthesis occurs in the red part and the blue part of the visible what? Of the visible light. Then other observations we can see. Sorry, people, you can pause this video and try to look at the observations and the explanations. We have been talking them. Actually, we have been talking about them up there. Then other observations here we are having chlorophyll A absorption in red light is about twice that of chlorophyll B, and the absorption peak is at a slightly longer wavelength. Then another observation of chlorophyll A in the blue is lower and shifted to a slightly shorter wavelength, in bracket high energy level. So yeah, I'm ending this session now. So we shall begin on another experiment on action spectrum of photosynthesis. So now allow me answer this other question. Yeah, still Kasim asked me a question about he was saying that, Master, is it true that the chemosynthesis connects with the nitrogen fixation in the soil? Yeah, the answer or the response is yes. So some chemosynthetic organisms which live in the soil or sediments and the hydrotherms can also fix what? They can fix nitrogen. So these microorganisms use chemical energy from inorganic compounds, which enables them to carry out that process of nitrogen what? Nitrogen fixation. I therefore say these two, the nitrogen fixation and the chemosynthesis, these two processes are interconnected. So that involves the conversion of chemical energy into organic energy and the fixation of the atmospheric what? Atmospheric nitrogen. I therefore sign out. I wish you the best. We meet in the next video.